In the final days of 1968, Northern California was preparing for Christmas. Families were decorating their homes, students were finishing school before the holiday break, and the small communities around Vallejo and Benicia were enjoying the calm of winter. But on the night of December 20th, something happened that would change the region forever. David Faraday, a responsible 17-year-old Boy Scout, and Betty Lou Jensen, a bright and energetic 16-year-old student, planned a simple evening together. They left home intending to attend a school event, but instead drove to a quiet stretch of Lake Herman Road. The area was known as a place where young couples could talk privately, away from the noise of town. Around 11 p.m., their car was found parked on the roadside. The scene was silent, but something was terribly wrong. David Faraday lay on the ground beside the car, shot once in the head at close range. Betty Lou Jensen was found several feet away, having tried to run. She had been shot 5 times in the back as she fled. There were no witnesses, no signs of robbery, no evidence of a struggle. The killer had approached silently, acted quickly, and disappeared without leaving anything behind. Investigators were shocked. The murders seemed random, senseless, and unlike anything the small community had ever seen. The news spread quickly. Parents became worried. Teenagers avoided isolated roads. Police increased patrols. But at the time, authorities believed the attack was an isolated tragedy. They had no idea that this was only the beginning. Welcome to Exhibit a Crime. Let's open the case file. Seven months later, the killer returned. On the night of July 4th, 1969, Vallejo was alive with celebrations. Fireworks echoed across the city, families gathered outdoors, and young people drove around enjoying the warm summer air. Among them were Darlene Farron, 22, and Michael Mageau, 19. They spent the evening together and eventually drove to Blue Rock Springs Park, a quiet spot popular with couples. Shortly after midnight, a car approached from behind and stopped. Its headlights shone directly into their vehicle. Michael turned around, confused. The car stayed for a moment, then drove away. Darlene tried to calm him, but both felt uneasy. A few minutes later, the same car returned. This time, it parked behind them and stayed. A man stepped out. He walked toward the passenger side of their car, holding a flashlight and a gun. Without saying a word, he raised the weapon and opened fire. Michael was hit first. Bullets tore through his arms and chest. Darlene screamed as the man shifted his aim and shot her multiple times. The attack was fast, controlled, and deliberate. After firing several rounds, the man stepped back, paused, then returned to shoot them again to make sure they were not alive. Despite his injuries, Michael managed to crawl out of the car. Darlene was still conscious, but severely wounded. A passing couple heard the commotion and called the police. Officers arrived quickly and rushed both victims to the hospital. Michael survived. Darlene did not. Michael's description of the attacker became the first real eyewitness account in the Zodiac case. He described the shooter as a white male, around 5 feet 8 inches, heavyset, with short brown hair. He said the man never spoke during the attack and seemed calm, almost emotionless. 40 minutes after the shooting, the Vallejo Police Department received a phone call. The caller reported the attack and claimed responsibility for the murders on Lake Herman Road. His voice was steady and casual. The call was traced to a payphone only a few blocks from the police station. 3 days later, the killer escalated the situation. 3 newspapers received letters, written in neat, controlled handwriting. Each letter contained details about the murders that only the killer could know. Each letter demanded publication, and each letter included 1/3 of a cipher, a coded message made of 408 symbols. The letters were signed with a strange symbol, a circle with a cross through it. This symbol would soon become the killer's signature. The newspapers published the letters as demanded. The public reaction was immediate. People were terrified. The idea of a killer who not only murdered, but also communicated through coded messages, was something new, something unsettling. Afar, the cipher became the center of attention. Cryptographers, amateur codebreakers, and even military analysts tried to solve it. The symbols were arranged in a way that suggested a substitution cipher, but the pattern was complex. For days, no one could make sense of it. The killer had promised that solving the cipher would reveal his identity. People hoped that decoding it would end the fear. But when the cipher was finally solved, the message was far from comforting. The solution came from a schoolteacher named Donald Hardin and his wife Betty. They spent their evenings studying the cipher at their kitchen table. They looked for repeated patterns, guessed common phrases, and slowly began to uncover the message. The decoded message did not contain a name. Instead, it was a disturbing confession. The killer wrote that he enjoyed killing because it was fun. He described murder as a game. He claimed that the people he killed would become his slaves in the afterlife. The message ended with a line that made the public realize the killer had no intention of revealing who he was. "I will not give you my name." The cipher's solution confirmed what investigators feared. The Zodiac was not motivated by jealousy, revenge, or financial gain. He killed for pleasure. He killed for attention. And he wanted the world to know it. Fear spread across Northern California. Couples avoided secluded areas. Families kept children indoors. Gun sales increased. People began locking their doors even during the day. The Zodiac had turned everyday life into something dangerous. The killer continued sending letters, each one written in the same neat handwriting. He criticized the police for failing to catch him. He mocked investigators for misunderstanding his motives. He hinted at future attacks. He wanted to keep the fear alive. The case became a cultural phenomenon. People discussed theories in cafes, libraries, and college campuses. Amateur detectives tried to solve the remaining unsolved symbols. The Zodiac symbol appeared everywhere. But while the public tried to understand the killer, he was already planning his next move. On Saturday, September 27, 1969, two college students, Brian Hartnell and Cecilia Shepard, decided to spend the afternoon at Lake Berryessa. The weather was warm, the lake was calm, and the area was filled with people enjoying the weekend. Nothing about the day suggested danger. Sometime between 4 and 5 p.m., Cecilia noticed a man standing on the hill behind them. He wasn't close, but he was watching them. She mentioned it to Brian, who didn't think much of it at first. But the man disappeared behind the trees, then reappeared again, this time closer. He was wearing a full black outfit that looked almost like an executioner's costume. Over his chest was a large symbol, a circle with a cross through it. His face was covered by a hood with eye holes cut out. In his hand, he carried a gun. He approached slowly, step by step, until he was only a few feet away. Brian and Cecilia froze. The man pointed the gun at them and said he wanted money and their car keys. Brian tried to stay calm. He spoke to the man, trying to understand what he wanted. But the man wasn't interested in money. He took out lengths of rope and ordered them to tie each other up. Once he made sure the ropes were tight, he put the gun away and pulled out a long knife. Without hesitation, he began stabbing them. Brian was stabbed multiple times in the back. Cecilia was stabbed repeatedly as she lay on the ground. Brian tried to shield her, but he couldn't stop the attack. When he finished, the man walked away calmly, as if he had completed a task. After leaving the scene, the killer walked to Brian's car. Using a black marker, he wrote on the door, "Vallejo, December 20th, 68. Vallejo, July 4th. 69 September, 27th, 69. 6:30 by knife." Later that evening, the killer called the police again, reporting the attack. The Lake Berryessa attack showed that the Zodiac was evolving. He was unpredictable, confident, and willing to escalate. He wasn't limited to nighttime shootings. He could strike in daylight, approach victims directly, and carry out a brutal attack without fear of being seen. The fear grew, and the killer was not finished.